This week's edition of The Accomplished Woman with Cathy Mendell, the show for accomplished women who are serious about their retirement. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley, and joining me in the studio is Cathy Mendell herself. She is the founder and president of Theia Financial. And we encourage you to stick around for today's show. We're going to be talking about building your retirement paycheck through retirement income planning. And this is such a critical subject, especially for accomplished women.
Oh, it is, because the last thing an accomplished woman wants to do is to leave a job and walk into this fog bank of not knowing what to do next.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have a great time today.
Oh, we are.
And a lot of good ideas on steps that you can take right now to prepare.
Yes, it's never too early to get started. It's also never too late, and Cathy has a wealth of strategies to be able to help you specifically in this retirement income planning arena. And it's interesting because, like all plans, often our plans are going to change based on what the economy does, based on your own lifestyle goals. We need to be prepared for everything that we have to navigate ahead in retirement.
Right. And you know, I was thinking about when you're working, your concentration is on this thing called ROI, right?
Return on investment, right? I know where you're going, and this is really good. But yeah, so return on investment, right?
When you transition into retirement, that ROI changes to reliable, ongoing income. Yes, and it's like a deer in the headlights. Yep. Okay, so I've got this money. What's the next thing I'm supposed to be doing now?
Right.
And if you talk to, I mean, if you go online and you look that up, you're going to get about 18 million hits in 2 or 3 seconds, and they're all going to be different.
Yes.
Some of them go, oh, you can take 4% for life, you'll never run out of money. Or don't start your Social Security till you're 70. Or it could be, oh, you take 100 minus your age, and that's your percentage of blah, 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 blah. It just goes on and on. This is what I think this stage of life is. It's the great equalizer. I really see that as I talk to women about where they're coming from and where they want to be. In fact, I was just thinking, I wrote some things down here. In my work, this last week, I spoke with a gal who works in regulatory law, a government social worker, a foot surgeon, a gal who owns oil wells, a professor, a gal that works at HR at Lowe's, a computer technician for the government, an accountant, an executive assistant, a marketing executive, and a purchasing agent. They all had the same question.
Which was?
This is how much income I think I'm going to need. What do I do next? In fact, I have this really interesting little slide that what's going to happen is that you're going to have a lot of tools. Okay, you might have a 401k, an annuity. You could have a Roth IRA. You could have a 403b account. You might have a IRA or stock options or Social Security. You've got real estate, deferred comp plans. You might have stock options, RSUs. You might have whole life insurance or indexed universal life for income. You might even have received an inheritance. Okay, you've got all of these pieces.
Yes.
And they all need to funnel down into this paycheck that's going to last you the rest of your life. And it's how do you put those things together? How do you put those components together?
Well, and it's interesting. We say this on the show all the time, but how you make a decision in one area of your financial life can and will affect all the others. So you cannot look at any of these pieces in a silo. You have to look at them together and how they fit together comprehensively and holistically, which is what you specialize in doing for women. And really, no two retirements are the same because everyone's goals are different. Everyone's situations are different. So talk about how you begin to even put this together for an accomplished woman.
Yeah, you know, there's actually 2 stages of planning and saving for retirement. There's the accumulation stage, and the only thing you're looking at is you're looking at the list of 401k options, right? You can pick, and you're just trying to pick some. Okay, that's your whole plan right there.
Yep.
And then you move into retirement, and there's lots of different kinds of questions. There's like, when should I take my Social Security? When should I stop work? Do I have enough money saved? How long am I going to live? What's my health like? Do I have home equity or am I in debt?
Right.
What's taxes? How are taxes going to work for me? What income sources will I have? How do I handle inflation? How much do I need to spend every month? What will my health care costs look like? What's all that? What's all the Medicare thing? Okay.
Yeah,
and
which
what
is
does
a
that
whole,
look like?
whole
That's
maze
a whole
in of
other thing,
itself, right? Yep.
And then, of course, your own lifestyle choices. So everyone does come into this with dreams, with aspirations of how they see their retirement. You know, when they think about the future, they're thinking about this carefree, leisurely lifestyle where they're making choices about their day. They're not thinking about wringing their hands, looking and saying, "Oh, I hope I don't run out of money."
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Some people, when they move into retirement, as they begin to kind of bucket things and think about, you know, how they want to set up their income and what they need their income to do for them, you're going to have, there's actually like 3 categories. There's needs, there's wants, and then there's wishes. Now, needs are the basic expenses that are ongoing, never change. They will always be there.
Right.
And these are the things that also go up with inflation. That's
the basics, right, of life, really.
It's
that
the
you need to
basics
live
of
off
life.
Right.
That has to be there every month. And personally, I like to see my clients cover that with some kind of a guarantee. Because see, when you're 85 or you're 89, that's not something you ever want to worry about.
Right.
Are my basics covered? That's not, you just don't want to be there. The second piece to that then is your wants and how you want to live. And it's so much fun for me because I get to hear everybody's stories and dreams and what they do to stay busy. And
I can only imagine just with that list of all the women you met with this past week, what all the variety of dreams on the table,
it's
right?
so much fun. Sometimes I had one gal tell me, she says, I just want to fly and see my grandkids play their sports games. My daughter, her 2 daughters are in ballet. They live in New York. I want to be able to go. That was her whole thing. That was everything to her.
Right.
I've had some people say, oh, I'm really inexpensive. I like to hike, bike, and paddleboard. Okay. I had one gal say, well, I have a beach house. It doesn't cost me anything. I go and I lay on the beach and read a book. That's what I want to do. You know, other people will say, I plan on travel, and more travel. Right?
I hear that one a lot.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So everyone's dreams are different. But the thing is that when you're working with someone, you set up your plan to deliver your dreams, to cover your basics. And in my opinion, now this is my opinion, but I think those wishes of how you want to live, the fun stuff, also needs to be part of your basics.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It does. Because I think, you know, especially accomplished women have been working so hard throughout their whole career. And you want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You really do. And you don't want to have to sit there. Because I think when you don't have a plan in place, what can often happen is people underspend. Or they don't do the things that they want to do because they're scared of running out of money.
Well, not only that, or they throw caution to the wind.
Or they overspend, right?
Yeah. But let's just say that if I put my plan together and, you know, here I am, I need $7,000 a month, and that pretty much covers my cost of living, and maybe my mortgage is going to be paid off someday, and that cost of living might go down.
Right.
But that's what I need. And then I have the things that I really love to do. Let's say you like to play golf. Let's say you've been somebody that your husband plays golf or your partner, but you've never taken it up, but you've always said, when I retire, I'm going to take up golf. Well, that's not inexpensive. Okay. Well, let's put that into the necessary.
Yes.
So that you can do that. So it's not a question about money.
Right.
It's a question of whether or not you can walk the course anymore.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's taking the lessons, and it's all of that. You might be pickleball. That might be your thing. Or you might be a quilter. But the point is that that's a discussion that you want to be having with the person that's helping you establish this income plan, so that you know where the money's going to come from. It's not going to run out.
Right.
And you know how it's going to, how your investments, how does your money need to be put together in order to deliver that. It's not about, okay, I think the financial industry gets this wrong. They say, here's how much money you have and here's how it's going to be invested.
Yep.
And you just take money out of there and you just hope that your pool of money keeps up with it.
Exactly. It's a strategy of hope, which is not a sound financial strategy at all.
Not at all. And that doesn't give you, that's not fun. But when you have a paycheck coming in, like you have your Social Security coming in, you might have a pension, and you have another source of income where it's just delivering your income to you week after week, month after month, year after year for the rest of your life, and you don't even think about it. That's beautiful.
Yes. And I know that is your passion and your heartbeat and what you get up doing every day, excited to meet with more women to be able to help them do that. And I love that you're committed to helping. It's about telling you what you can do, not what you can't do. And there's so much freedom in that. So if someone's watching and going, I want to have that kind of peace of mind, what would you say to them?
Well, I think the first thing I would tell you is that, you know, Theia Financial is known for this. This is what we do. This is what we do day in and day out, is we meet you wherever you are in your life. We have a chance to really talk and learn about you. We learn about where you're at right now, what your dreams and passions are. Our team goes to work and we put together a plan. We get back together with you and we show you that plan. And our desire is that we execute the plan and we see you through retirement, that we stand alongside of you, and that you know you're good long term. We do this every single day, and we'd love to do it for you as well.
Wonderful. Cathy, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, we are going to take a quick break, but this is an excellent opportunity for you to connect with Cathy and the team of Theia Financial. For no cost, no charge, no obligation, this is simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how they can help and serve you with your retirement income planning needs or any retirement planning questions that you may have. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call 866-724-4927, and you'll be able to schedule a time to get on Cathy's calendar to have a complimentary 30-minute Zoom call with her. If you would rather not talk to someone right now, but you have your smartphone handy, that's an option for you as well. Simply pull it out. If you open up that camera app, you can point, click, and scan that QR code down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then someone from the team will reach out to you to schedule your complimentary Zoom call that way as well. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more to cover on today's episode of The Accomplished Woman with Cathy Mendell right after this.
As your life unfolds, sometimes you don't see the future. You're in the moment. You're doing what you do in the moment, right? As an example, we have an orphanage in Kenya. Who would have ever dreamed we would do that? We didn't set out to do that. It happened. Worked for the 𝘊𝗶𝗆𝗺𝗺 world headquarters for about 20 years. And one day I thought, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be inside of what's happening in families. I want to be in people's lives. I decided to open a financial firm that is not geographically constrained, that anyone can get involved with, that was really focused on women. Because I feel like women have a little different priority. They see money a little differently than a lot of men do. Very accomplished women, very capable. They've been managing money their whole life. They understand the need to save, and they have saved money, and they have put time in to make sure they have a future retirement that works. They know that they need to reach out, and they know they need to work with a company that really can help them move forward securely. And that's our passion. That's what we're doing.
Well, welcome back to The Accomplished Woman with Cathy Mendell. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley, where today we are talking about creating your retirement paycheck for yourself, doing retirement income planning. And this is something that the team of Theia Financial is very well versed in doing. It's taking your income or the money that you've been able to accumulate over your working years and figure out how you can turn that into a reliable, ongoing, steady stream of income for yourself that's going to last you for the rest of your life. And Cathy, especially as women, we're living longer than we ever have before. It needs to last us a pretty long time. But with that, every income plan is very personal. It's very unique. I know that you don't do a cookie cutter approach. Every plan that you build for all the accomplished women that you work with is unique to them. Talk about that and how you even start that process.
Yeah, you know, it really begins by us having some great time on the phone together, on Zoom. Actually, I like to see the person I'm talking to. You know what? This world is so amazing because I can meet you. We can both be sitting there talking to each other in a very personal way. You're in one state, I'm in another.
Across time zones, right?
Across time zones. You didn't have to leave your house, you know. And the lovely thing about this is we can be so connected and get things done. It's just a wonderful way to meet. But here's the thing is that your retirement income, everybody has a different way about how they want to see that. Now, most people, I can't say most women, a lot of women will say, I really want to have a steady stream of income that just happens every month. I don't want to have to manage a portfolio for that.
Right.
And if the market goes down, I really don't want that to affect my ability to live well or to pay my bills or anything else.
Yep.
They don't want that to be a part of their story.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So I actually was reading an article by a Nobel Prize winner. His name is Robert Metten, and he's an expert in income planning. And I just thought it was so interesting because, of course, it's echoing everything we just said, but I'll read it to you. He said, figuring out how much income you need during retirement and formulating a retirement income plan is the most important aspect of financial planning. The most important. I thought, how interesting that, I mean, financial planning is a big subject.
It is. And there's so many pieces that go into it.
There's so many pieces. And then he goes on to say, the most important aspect of retirement planning is to estimate your retirement income and ensure that it is adequate to cover your projected retirement spending. He rejects the focus on net worth and savings formulas. So he was, in this podcast I was listening to, he was talking about, you know, going online and all these calculators and all of this. And he said, you cannot go with that because without first understanding your spending needs and how you're going to turn your assets into income. Overwhelmingly, I'm trying to make the case that the thing that matters for retirement is the amount of income you get, not how big your pot is. And that really came home to me when I was working with a couple, and really nice people. They were from California. They had both worked for the state. They both had big pensions, And they had these big pensions and they also had their Social Security. Well, as we were doing their income planning, we did not need to use any of their assets for income because their pensions alone were over $200,000 a year, and then their Social Security on top of that.
Amazing.
They weren't spending that much money. So where this really hit home to me was they came in for we did a Zoom call for a review, and we're looking at their market accounts that our company was handling. And what happened was it was in a time when the markets were just rotten. They were going through a very, wild swings. There was a lot going on politically. And I'm a little bit nervous, and when they came in and we started talking, they didn't even know that was happening.
Because they didn't need that money to live off of,
you see,
right?
The problem is that if you interpret world events affecting your paycheck, you can't, that's hard to stomach.
Oh, very hard.
That will turn your insides upside down.
It doesn't matter how much money you have. I meet
Not at all.
people, even with millions of dollars, who still feel that punch in the gut, whatever the stock market's doing, if they don't know where their income's coming from, right?
And so if you have your income set up where that kind of stuff does not affect your ability to live well, you can handle that because it's like when you were working and the market went down, you still were getting a paycheck. So yeah, maybe you didn't look at your statement very much.
Right.
But it didn't hit you between the eyes. It didn't keep you up at night. It didn't make you cancel a vacation. Right? If you don't have this set up right and world events unfold that way, you're not going to be happy in your retirement. It really is no way to live.
It's very unsettling.
It really is.
And so there's so much to unpack there, and yet this is what you do day in and day out for folks. I'm sure a lot of people listening are going, man, I didn't think about all these different pieces that come in together, and it can be really overwhelming if you don't know where to start. But you've done this for thousands of women.
I have. So I want to give you a couple of ideas of what to do next. Okay. So the first thing I want you to think about is your current income that you have coming in. Your net income that you're actually depositing into the bank and that you're living off of. Does that cover your cost of living today? Well, if it does, then that's a good place to begin. So I call this a retirement continuum. And what that really means is that what was before just continues into the future. So let's say that every other week you're putting, your paycheck is $4,000 as an example. So you basically have this $8,000 coming in. Now, remember, you're probably making more than that because you're contributing to your IRA or your 401k. You're probably sharing some healthcare costs and all of those types of things. You're not going to be contributing to those anymore, so those don't really matter. But I'm going to look at my expenses. I'm going to look at that number and say, does that work now? If it works now, what you have to think about with retirement income planning is how much income you need every month. It's not how much it's not like when you go to work and you get a job offer and they're going to give you $150,000 a year.
For the year, right.
Right? We're not talking about that. What do you need to have coming in monthly? That's why when you look at your Social Security statement, it doesn't tell you the total amount of money you're going to get over your lifetime.
Right.
It tells you what your benefit's going to be this month.
Exactly right.
If you have a pension, it does the same thing.
Yep.
It tells you monthly income, and you select between the different
options
that
right?
you have,
Yep.
and that's what you're going to have. So it's easy for you to calculate because that's how we live in our world. We live on monthly income.
Right.
When you're putting together a retirement plan, you do the same thing. So I live in Southern Oregon, Jacksonville area, and if you were to come to my town and you looked at this amazing old gold mining town, it's just the neatest place. Look it up, by the way. It's a really great place. And you said to me, Cathy, what would it cost me to live in this area? I'm not going to say, well, you need to have in the bank $3,627,000.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that doesn't answer the question.
Right.
The question is what is your cost of living in this area?
Yes.
It's the same thing when you're going into retirement. It's not about the nest egg. It's about how you turn that into income that takes care of your life and just gives you the opportunity to relax and then think about something else besides how am I going to get income, especially when the markets are upside down.
Oh, for sure. And I know, I mean, studies have shown that this is the #1 fear that so many women are experiencing, is that fear of outliving their money. And we don't want this to be you. And the good news is that it doesn't have to be. You can have a solid plan in place. And to your point, Cathy, it's not just about meeting your income needs, but it's funding your dreams for your retirement as well.
Well, the quality of life after retirement, it's what we all expect it to be just wonderful, okay? When you get the money right and you keep your health good and you have dreams that you can pay for, it is wonderful.
Yes.
It's not wonderful when, when you think back about just the last 23 years in our country. We've had some really horrific times in the stock market.
Yep.
And if your investments are all related to that, and you see your portfolio drop by 40%, it changes how you feel about this decision you made to stop working. Now, you might have a second career that you launch into when you retire. That's all fine, but it should be a choice, not forced.
Not right. If you want to keep working, it's because you want to, not because you have to. That's the difference.
Yeah, I always encourage my clients that have, especially if they ran their own business, sometimes it's really hard to leave the business and stop all of a sudden.
Right.
So they kind of taper down over a couple of years.
Transition, right, if you will.
They start consulting, or they're a nurse and they do, they take on 4 shifts a month or something like that just until they're ready to let it go. But the point is that the biggest thing you have to do is create monthly income for yourself when you retire. And that's done with a very deliberate allocation of assets. Guaranteed, reliable. And when I say guaranteed, I just mean that they're not going to go down with the market.
Right.
If the market tanks, it's not going to affect your income. And there are lots of tools that do that.
Yes. Well, and we're going to get into some of those as we continue on. But if you're out there today and you're going, you know what? I would really like some help to navigate my own retirement income situation. The good news is you don't have to go this alone. Cathy and the team of Theia Financial would love to help and serve you for no cost, no charge, no obligation. You are welcome to schedule a complimentary 30-minute Zoom call with Cathy herself. To do that, simply dial that number that you see on the bottom of your screen, 866-724-4927. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code, and that will get you connected as well. More on The Accomplished Woman with Cathy Mendell right after this.
We've all experienced those coulda, shoulda, woulda moments. When it comes to retirement, there are no do-overs. At Theia Financial, we understand the importance of retirement planning and turning your savings into reliable income you can count on. Retirement is more than just financial security. It's about spending quality time with your loved ones, embracing your creativity and pursuing your life's passions, and discovering the countless marvels that make our world a truly remarkable place. With a belief in the power of preparation, we work with accomplished women to design personalized plans. Don't leave retirement planning up to chance. Take control of your financial future and turn your retirement dreams into a long-lasting reality. Contact us today to schedule your free consultation.
Welcome back to The Accomplished Woman with Cathy Mendell. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley. We've been talking today all about building your retirement paycheck through retirement income planning. And Cathy, I know one of the things that you and the team of Theia Financial are so passionate about is your income planning philosophy, and I want to share it with our viewers now. One of the pillars of how they build retirement income plans for you is what you must spend should be covered by guaranteed income. Income that will be there for you no matter what happens in the financial markets or how long you live. And then a second pillar is that everything else can be invested according to your risk tolerance and long-term goals. I'd love to have you just talk a little bit more about that as we conclude this amazing discussion about retirement income planning.
So, guaranteed. Okay, what is guaranteed? Well, you have Social Security, you have your pensions. You need to find something that has a base income that is not market, that doesn't fluctuate with the market. Now, there's a lot of tools out there. A few of them, I mean, things that people have heard of maybe before, treasuries or CDs or things of that nature. You can also use annuities with lifetime income benefits. It's just you place some money there, you get an income for life, and it never stops. It doesn't matter how long you live. It's the best thing ever, right? So as an example, I had a client, her name was Helen. She lived in Texas. She came to me, she had $600 and some thousand, needed $2,800 a month. Markets were coming down. She was terrified. She's taking these withdrawals and her portfolio is going down. So we just took that pool of money she had, we divided it in half. We put some over here to give her reliable long-term income, and then we put some over here that's completely free and clear for her to spend as she will. What was happening was she was so worried that this pool of money was going to run out, she wasn't spending anything because she didn't know. You know, you're looking at these numbers and it's like, oh my gosh, I can do the math. This isn't looking right?
Yeah,
and so what I would say is that your team that you're working with needs to be well versed in everything that's out there, not somebody that is only allowed to do one or two things. They need to, if it's an annuity and you want to understand that, what's out there, what do people use for this type of thing? Some of my most sophisticated clients that have the biggest pools of money, they really like that reliable income that they get from that. And it's like, okay, I'm going to put that over there and that's going to be my income bucket. And it's going to do this and I already know what's going to happen. I don't have to worry about it. And others would say, actually, I kind of like this bucket strategy where you kind of divide things up in 1 and 5 year you know, tranches, and we use a lot of different accounts to do that with. There's a lot of choices. And what you want is somebody that is not constrained about what they can offer you and what they can do for you.
For sure. And because you are independent, you can offer all the different options, and then you, the viewer, get to decide how you want your money to work for you, right?
Exactly. Your income style that you want to see. If you want that reliable, ongoing income that's like clockwork every month and you don't think about it, then that's how you want your advisor to set it up. Not just, okay, 60-40 in the market and hope for the best.
Those rules of thumb don't apply to personal situations, right? Well, Cathy, thank you so much for this important conversation, and we appreciate you joining us. Again, if you would like Cathy's help, it's really simple. It's completely complimentary. Simply call 866-724-4927, or again, scan that QR code to get connected. We love you. Thank you for watching. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We look forward to being back with you next time.